Hey y'all, I'm T the Brand, expert lash artist and educator. Today I am excited and honored to be a guest speaker on The Lash Life. This episode is sponsored by thelashsupply.com. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Hey guys, it's Anna with The Lash Life. We are here with a special guest all the way from Dallas, Texas. This is T with Powerhouse.
Hi. I'm T. I go by T the Brand. My business is Powerhouse Lashes, and I am a lash artist, lash educator, mentor, YouTuber, podcaster, all of the lash
That's
things.
awesome.
Thank you.
T, we want to get straight. Tell us, when did you decide lash extensions was for you?
So it wasn't my decision.
Really?
Not at all.
I've never heard that before as a response.
Yeah, no. I knew nothing about lash extensions. I had only worn them twice, I believe. So I was a social worker, and I was basically like a counselor for middle school students.
Yeah.
When COVID hit, my position at the school was cut. And so the good thing was I got paid through, when was that? Like maybe April through August. So I didn't have to like make a really quick move.
Yeah.
But I was interviewing to, find other jobs and everything, but nothing was working out. I wasn't getting anything. And one day, randomly, I think like in June of 2020, I texted my friends and I told them, I was like, I think I want to learn how to do lash extensions. And again, knew nothing about lash extensions.
But what made you be like, I want to learn? Like, what did you see or
nothing.
What? It was just like a thought in your head?
Yes, and that's what's
Wow.
crazy about it. There was nothing on my timeline. I didn't follow lash artists.
Wow.
I knew this was a world I knew nothing about.
Yeah.
And so I just have to say it was a God move, because I was like, I want to learn how to do lash extensions.
Yeah.
And the very next day, a class popped up on my timeline. And that was the
What?
first time I saw any content about lashes.
Wow.
So I did a little research, found a trainer, took a training. 2 months later, I enrolled in school.
Wow.
And that was all she wrote.
That happened so fast.
Yes.
Like so fast. But you know what? Sometimes I think that when we have these thoughts like out of nowhere, it's just like meant to be.
Yes.
I think it's the universe saying like, this is where you need to be, ma'am.
Absolutely.
You know what
And I
mean?
think by not being able to like find another job in my field, I feel
Yeah.
like that was, God's way of being like, no,
Yes.
this is the thing.
I know.
And this is
Isn't-
where we're going.
Isn't that, timing so like unreal?
Yes.
Like it's just crazy how
Yes.
it's just put in front of you.
And you just either go with it, sink or swim.
Yeah, I know, because a lot of people sometimes choose careers, that maybe their friends and family or parents or siblings have, and so
sure.
you go into that. But I'm the same way. Nobody in my family ever did anything in the beauty industry.
Yeah.
And it was just something that I wanted to do since I was a kid.
Wow.
And I mean, who would have thought it would have taken me to lash extensions?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Same thing with you. It's just like one day it's like, I want to do lash extensions.
And
where did that come
that
from?
is crazy.
The universe. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So you've been in the industry for a little while now. Tell me, how was that first year? Was it rough? Was it like you just escalated so quickly? Like what happened?
I'll say the first year was great and full of lessons. I started, I think I took my training in August. October, I enrolled in school, but in the between time, I was just like charging $15 or free sets, just tip me, just so that I could, try to get a little better.
Yes.
After I enrolled in school, I kind of flew through school. So I'll say I went full-time lashing in January of 2021.
Wow.
And the reason that I was really excited about it, because I was like, okay, my last job interview was in January of 2021. And I was like, all right, God, if this doesn't work, then I know you want me to lash full-time. And I did not get the job. So I was like, we're about to hit the ground running.
Yes.
So I had a photo shoot, a business photo shoot. And I just thought like things were about to take off. And things did not take off.
Not how you planned.
No,
that.
not at all. So I had to do a lot of learning, not just lashes. And I think a lot of times, beginner lash artists think that once you get the craft down or whatever, then that's
Or you
gonna,
get the license.
yes,
And that's it.
and people are just gonna,
That's what I say all the time. You think that people are going to be lined up out your door like Walmart or
not
Target
at
or you know what I
all.
mean?
Nobody knows you.
And you're sitting there like, anybody,
Where
somebody.
the clients at? You done spent all your money buying
Yeah.
new tweezers and lashes
Absolutely.
and all the things.
I
and
feel
so
that, yeah.
I think that my first year, the hardest part was learning how to grow my clientele. So yeah, that was a struggle. But
Yeah, I bet. What
Yeah.
did you do to try to gain clientele that first year? And then how did you change that up versus the second year?
So that first year, I did what I saw other lash artists doing that I thought was working for them. I was running all kinds of crazy sales and always offering discounts. I had made sure my prices were low enough, and I still would. When I would get people in, they weren't staying, so I would
Yeah.
consider them customers now versus clients, because clients, they come back.
It was
but
they were just coming for that discount, for that
Yes.
discount price.
Yes,
and
I
they
would-
weren't going to stick around.
no,
Yeah.
and I was getting used.
I've been there before too. I know how you feel. I
Yeah.
can relate to that. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of lash artists,
For
beginner
sure.
lash artists can relate to that now. And they're like, how do I raise my prices?
Yes.
Right? We got to just value ourselves from the beginning. I think that's the
Yes.
biggest mistake that we make, is not valuing our time, our craft, the amount of time that it took us to perfect our craft, the amount of money we spent on our licensing and material and
Yes.
trainings and all this stuff, right?
All the things.
Oh, that's hard.
It
So the
is.
first year you were like, I'm just going to do what they're doing.
Yes, because I thought that's what was working
Yeah.
for them. And then I'll say it was still in my first year that I, kind of pivoted after I did that photo shoot and thought that
Yeah.
everybody was going to want me to do their lashes. I was on Instagram and I started seeing like ads from this. She wasn't a lash artist anymore, but she was more like a lash coach. And she was always like hitting you in the chest talking about how running sales isn't going to get you clients, and you need to learn how to market, and you need to
Yeah.
learn how to brand. And after consuming as much of her free content as I could, I got to a place to where I was like, this isn't enough and I need to learn from her.
Yeah.
So I purchased some classes to learn about marketing and branding, and that kind of helped me get started. And
That's
through the
amazing.
process, I guess, had my own lessons that I learned from what she was sharing and teaching, and I was able to, grow from that.
And apply all that together.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that you're not going to learn something just from one person.
No.
You have to apply many things into one and
Yes.
then learn what works for you
Yes.
as well. Because, again, someone's teaching you branding, but your branding might be different than theirs.
Absolutely.
And so you have to always take a little bit. I see a lot of people, for example, taking certification classes, right? And then they go out and teach classes, and they're teaching the same thing that they're being, you know what I mean? It's like, take a little bit. You don't have to take just what they taught you
Right.
and teach it. You can take a little bit of what you've learned in your experience.
But that's the thing, the experiencing part. So
Yeah.
one mistake that I made as a beginner lash artist was I took a training, and once I guess got tired of not having enough clients, then I was like, okay, somebody has asked me to teach them how to do lashes. I can make money teaching since I'm not making money
Yeah.
with lashes. And I think a lot of lash artists get to that point where it's like, okay, I'm not getting enough clients in. Let me
frustrated,
try to
yeah.
find another way to
Another
make
way,
money.
yeah.
But it all comes back down to marketing, because if you
Yes.
can't get clients in,
you can't get you can't get students.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And if
absolutely.
you don't have like you said, getting the experience for yourself, if you haven't done that, then with you just recreating or teaching what you learned, you're just creating more little yous who still
Yes.
need help and are going to struggle in the industry.
Exactly. You said that so perfectly. I believe that so much because I see a lot of new lash techs, and they're taking so many classes.
Yes.
And I'm like, you are so busy taking so many
Yes.
classes. When are you going to experience the experience?
Yes.
Because that's the only way that you're going to learn.
Yes.
Not from taking 10, 20 classes. I believe in feeding your brain and taking some classes to stay up to date
Absolutely.
on trends and techniques and, whatever. Some products are always like, reformulated or whatever. But I'm like, you're so busy taking so many classes, trying to put so many certifications under your belt.
That you don't have time to actually practice and perfect
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah. So if I'm at my studio lashing 5-6 clients a day for a year, but you're taking that time to just take a bunch of classes, you know what I mean?
It still puts you behind.
It still puts you behind.
Yeah, you're gaining knowledge, and I'm not discrediting taking classes,
Absolutely.
but you're gonna learn application over and over and over, and
Yeah.
fan making over and over and over.
You're going to
but
be able to tell me everything that they told you and what you learned.
yes,
But I'm running into the difficulties.
yes.
I'm running into trial and error.
So after that first year of exhausting your finances
Yeah.
to learn more, you still have to
go through
go
all
through the
these
struggle
Yeah,
of getting people in and actually perfecting perfecting the craft.
exactly. So tell me about your second year. You said that you took a class. You kind of joined all those little things together with your experiences, and then it started getting better.
Yeah. So a lot happened in my first year. It went so fast. So I'll say maybe about March is when I started taking those classes. But and this is 2021, by November of 2021, I launched my first mentorship class.
Wow, that's
So
amazing.
thank you. But I launched my first mentorship class, and I was able to help 5 lash art. Well, it started with 5, but 3 lash artists. And from there, I just kind of, it really kind of took a turn. Okay, so because I was helping lash artists, but at the same time, I was still needing money from like doing lashes. But when I went full on educator, like on social media, I was attracting more lash artists. My page is full of stuff for lash artists, so I'm not getting any clients, and that means I'm not getting paid. And so I'm
Yeah.
helping people, but
Yeah. You're helping lash artists, but you're not helping clients to know you,
right.
right?
Right.
On that lash tech level.
Yes.
Like, I can be your lash tech, but now you're promoting, I can be your mentor.
Yes, and more people were seeing me as mentor than lash
yeah.
artist. So that created kind of a disconnect in the business.
Okay.
And so from there, I ended up working at a spa from like November to May of 2022.
Yes.
And after May 2022, that's when it just kind of really took off for me once I
Yeah.
left the spa. I'd known more during my time at the spa, because everything wasn't on me anymore.
Yeah.
Like all of the responsibilities of getting the clients in and
Yeah.
all those things. I was able to really focus on learning how to market to my target audience to get more clients in. So once I was able to kind of figure out my own flow with content and everything, I started getting so many clients.
That's amazing.
So yeah,
That's super cool.
Year 2 was way better than year 1 for sure.
That's really cool. I think that a lot of lash artists, they're striving to become their own boss.
Yeah.
But in reality, you don't have to do that. You can go work at a spa.
For sure.
And you can learn so many things
Yes.
from those businesses.
Yes.
I know that when I started in the beauty industry, I worked at a salon for a few months. And I wasn't there for the money because the money was not that great.
Mm-hmm.
But I was there for the experience and because I was like secretly picking up on everything.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I was
Yes.
observing.
And
I
that's
was,
what you're supposed to do.
yeah.
Yes.
You know, I'm like, I'm here not because they pay me that well, you know what I mean? Because I was so new and there was people there that, you know, had seniority and all that stuff. But I was just like, I'm here because I want to know what's going on. How do you run this business in this beauty industry?
Yes.
Because though I had worked in, you know, the corporate world and I knew how to run things there, I had no idea about beauty businesses.
It's a whole different
It's a
ballgame.
whole different ball game. And so I was like, I'm going to work here and I'm going to sacrifice a few months of my, you know, and I was so broke. I was just like,
Yes.
Jesus.
Working at the spa that I was at, I was like you. I was not making a lot of money,
Yeah.
but what I was learning just from observing
Yes.
and just from being able to, you know, figure out my
Yeah.
strategy for marketing, for branding, and
Yes.
those things. That downtime really helps. So
Yeah.
sometimes the money
does.
isn't, you know, the
Yes.
best part
exactly.
of it.
But then there's a lot of people that make a lot of money in spas.
Yes, they do.
There's a lot of people that make it big.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And their clientele is huge. But for me, that wasn't the case. I was, you know, entry level at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people were like, I don't know if I want to go to her. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So there's that
Yeah.
at salons and spas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are wanting to trust you. Even now, like when I have girls that work with me, I want to send some of my girls to, you know, some of my clients to some of my girls. And they're like, I don't know, I just want to stick with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's hard to kind of,
That's a trust thing.
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
a trust thing. So I understand how that works,
Yeah.
you know, and my girls are like, you know, sad, but I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll try to send you the next one. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's a learning experience.
For sure.
You don't always have to go in and be your own boss. You can absolutely go to that side of the world and, you know, train there.
Yes.
And just sharpen your knowledge and your business skills and then pick up from all of that. I always tell everybody, you don't have to mimic everything that they do. Pick pieces
And make it
that
work
you
for
want.
you.
Yeah, that you
Yes.
want and you know that you're going to need, take those with you.
Yes.
Right? So your second year, you're taking off, you're getting clients.
Yes.
What's going on after that?
So I leave the spa and I have to go back to lashing out of my living room. And so I was very nervous about that because
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just a different totally different atmosphere.
Yes.
You went from privacy to
From a professional
Yes,
environment
to
to now
my
you're
apartment.
home. Yeah, I lashed from home too.
yeah.
I can relate to that. And then what happened?
So I did that for about a month, and then I ended up moving into a different apartment that has like a hallway with just a bathroom and a room that I set
Oh,
up to be my
wow.
lash room.
That's
So
cool.
that's my current setup right now, and so far it's been going great. I've been almost in this setup for about a year now, almost. The summer will make a year, but it's been going really well. What I learned last year while I was working at the spa, just trial and error and figuring out things that made me stand out as a
Yeah.
business owner and as a lash artist that attracted people to me, just still repackaging that and sharing it so that I can continue
Yeah.
to grow the business.
So for our new lash techs out there that are getting a little discouraged, give us like maybe 2 tips. Tell us 2 things that maybe they should know on marketing themselves.
Okay. So I would say, first of all, expect to be discouraged. Like in any piece
You're right.
as you grow, as you build your clientele, there's always a new goal, something else that you want to reach, and so it causes you to have to keep working and keep
Yeah.
learning. So you're always gonna experience some type of discouragement or maybe a little fear, but you can't let that hinder you. I think a lot of lash art, first piece of advice, I think a lot of lash artists are afraid to invest in people's knowledge. So with me, when I invested in the first coach that I had, it took me months before I trusted her enough to actually buy her class.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to pay for it and then not really get anything out
because
of it.
so many people are just offering things
Yes.
that are just not worth it. And so you have to be very careful
Right.
who you purchase it from,
Right.
whose knowledge is really what you want. I know I run into some of those things too, and I'm just like, that is so unfair that people are doing this. Because when I was younger, I remember purchasing some things and it was totally not what they said it was going
Yeah.
to be. And it was such a disappointment. And so that makes you have trust issues with
Yes.
other people, right?
Yes.
And you're like, man, I really want to buy her info, but like,
I'm
man,
not trying to
you
get,
know, yes.
scammed again.
But that is a very good piece of advice. Very,
Yeah.
very good. I love that.
You have to be a forever student. There's always somebody who knows more than you.
Yeah,
Even if
absolutely.
you're ahead, like years ahead of them in the industry,
Yes.
the industry is always changing. So when they're
Always.
coming in, they're learning
Always.
fresh stuff. And if you aren't, up to par, relearning and
Yeah.
staying engaged, then it's easy to fall behind. So I would definitely say my main piece of advice is learn how to market, learn how to brand yourself, and you might have to pay somebody to
Yeah.
to
Someone
get
like
that
T.
information.
Someone like T.
Someone like T.
You
But
never
yeah,
know.
and that's okay because that's business. Business is
Yeah.
investments, and that's how you
have to
grow.
invest in yourself.
Yes.
You have to invest in yourself, definitely. And with you being successful in such a short period of time, like who wouldn't want to know how you did it?
Yeah.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
thank you.
Because you're absolutely going to give us some information, but there's more to it.
For sure.
There's more to it. There's so much more that people don't see behind the scenes.
Right.
That they should be doing or should not be doing.
And I think a lot of it kind of comes down to how people think. If you're not a critical thinker, then business can get really hard. Or
Yeah.
if you are just lost. Like I was saying, I was doing stuff that I saw other lash artists doing because I thought that's what was working for them. And I think a lot of beginner lash artists do that from their policies that they set to
Yeah.
their prices and their
You're
hours.
right.
And I'm like, that doesn't. It may not make sense for you to do.
Yes.
And so that's why it's important to, learn from people so that not only you won't be just copying what they're doing, but you'll be able to get an understanding of why they do what
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah, don't always be a copycat.
Yeah, be inspired, but don't copy.
Sometimes people's social media is just off the roof, but in
Yes.
reality, their businesses are slow.
Yes, and that was one thing that I had to learn. You know, people that I was following and looking up to in the industry, because I felt like, you know, they know more, they
Yeah.
have all the clients, but that wasn't that when I talked to them, that wasn't really what was happening.
They were just good content
They
creators.
were great content creators.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I totally understand that. And, you know, sometimes I try to make videos for my Instagram account and I'm like so lost on what to do because I'm not a good content creator. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
well.
I'm good at lash extensions.
Yeah.
I'm good at retaining clients. I'm good at having a business, but I'm not a content creator. You know what I mean?
The best advice that I ever received on content creation was you're already doing the work, just
Yes.
record it.
But I know it's hard for some people now.
Yeah.
Even if they did grow up in social media, they're like, I don't know what to do. So what is your advice? Like, what can you do to try to get something in there?
Post valuable content, educational content. I think a lot of times we're consumed with what the right thing to post,
Yeah.
and that does not matter. I mean, it's about what you're giving, what problem you're solving. Don't sell the lash extension services, sell the benefit of getting lash extensions.
you're
Market
absolutely
the
right.
benefit of lash extensions, and then people will see how lash extensions can fit into their life.
Yeah.
But I think value over just worrying about, oh, let me just post lashes and
just
post
post.
lashes and post
Yeah.
lashes. You can post lashes and put in your caption, book now, link in bio, volume set, whatever. That means nothing to somebody who doesn't know what lash extensions are.
Yeah.
Or I like wearing my strip. I don't wear strip lashes, but I'm just saying, I like, you know, if I'm a strip lash wearer,
Yeah.
I don't see why I need to pay you what you're charging for
Right.
lash extensions. But that's because I don't know the value of lash extensions. So educational marketing, as simple as when you do a lash bath, record it and tell the client why you do lash baths.
Yeah,
When
that's a
you
good one.
when we tape down bottom lashes, for somebody who has never had lash extensions, all they see is tape on people's eyes.
yeah.
They don't know why you're doing that.
absolutely
So
right.
you have to educate. You know, we tape your bottom lashes down so that your eyes aren't glued shut
Yeah.
at the end of the service.
I totally get that because when I do some of my certification and licensing classes, I ask people, do you know what these pads are for? And they're like, to cover your bottom lashes. But why are you covering your
Right.
bottom lashes? Give me 3 reasons. And they're like, they can't think of any.
Exactly.
Besides covering the bottom lashes.
And that's the same place that potential clients are in.
Yeah.
They don't know. So if we don't, as lash artists, if we don't tell them,
Absolutely. I know there's a lot of like ways to market yourself for free, right? Where would you start? If you were a new lash artist all over again, knowing what you know now, where would you start?
my start will be Instagram.
Instagram.
I think a lot of times what happens with Instagram is that we get so caught up in what the algorithm wants us to do.
Yeah.
And I could care no less about an algorithm, because the people who are going to see my stuff are going to see my stuff. And if they want to book, they're going to book. So again, making sure that you're sharing value. That's what's really important. It's not
Yeah.
about what's right. It's about value. TikTok, I think TikTok is more of a market for lash educators
Yeah.
versus sharing lash extensions for clientele.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think TikTok is a great place for anybody who wants to show skills and, you know, teach
Yeah.
real quick how to do stuff. But Instagram is where I would start, and just, you know, making sure you have a business profile on Instagram, because all of the analytics and everything, it helps out so
Yeah,
much.
and it's free. A lot of people don't know that.
Yes.
I've been asked that before. It's like, well, how do you get a business profile? How much
Wow.
do you have to pay?
No.
And I'm like, it's free.
It is totally free.
It's free.
Totally free. And they give you so many resources to, you know, help
Yeah.
you track your growth and see how things are moving. But yeah, I would say start with Instagram. Well, hashtags have changed. So I have a couple of like people who I follow that work for Instagram. And so he kind of always shares on his platform like what's changing. And so hashtags 2022 were a thing. And people were searching hashtags or clicking
Yeah.
hashtags, but now Instagram doesn't care about hashtags. And once I was a little afraid to, you know, make the switch, but once I stopped using hashtags, my engagement picked up.
Really?
Yes. Also because when you look at a post and you see like this caption that you are engaged with, and then you see a bunch of hashtags, hashtags, it kind of takes the connection to the person who posted it out of it, because now I feel like I'm just being marketed to versus I'm actually being able to engage with a real person with a with a business. And so people comment more, people share more now that I don't use hashtags.
So you don't use them at all?
No, not anymore.
Not at all.
I think I stopped in either November or December. No hashtags, and it has made a huge difference.
That's super cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I still hear people using hashtags.
Some
Use these hashtags. Use that hashtag. Use it. And I'm just like, which one? Which would they use?
Now, if for my advice for someone who does use hashtags, one thing that I would do so that I wouldn't have to keep switching them up, I made a note in my phone of all of my hashtags that I was going to use. Yes. And so when I would create a caption, I would go to my notes, copy and paste the hashtag. Well, copy the hashtags,
That's a good tip.
paste them in Instagram. That way it makes the the post time quicker, and you're
You
not
don't have to,
draining
like,
your brain.
think,
Right.
What do I? Is it this one?
Yes. Lash what? Yeah. So
what do I do? Yeah.
that definitely made things easier when I was using hashtags.
What do you think about Facebook? I always ask people because, my younger crowds in my classes, they're like, Miss, we don't use Facebook anymore. And I'm just like, well, I don't know. Like, I'm not a big social media person. Like, I'm trying to be now, you know what I mean? But what do you think about Facebook?
So I have a business page on Facebook that I did not take seriously until the month of March.
Okay.
Last month. And so I started posting on there more. I partnered with a company and I was running ads on Facebook. And so from those ads, I got a couple of new clients. So it helped in that regard because, it just, some people are on Facebook.
And not on Instagram.
Right. And then you also have to consider the audiences that are on Instagram and on Facebook.
Yes.
On Instagram, you have, more young people and all the things.
That's what I hear.
And on Facebook, you have more, mature people who they may not understand the value of lash extensions at first, but once you explain it to them and they come and they like them, you have customers who can afford your services because they're more established on Facebook.
Exactly.
So I think that Facebook it's cool. I'm doing better with marketing on Facebook.
That's awesome. So TikTok, you said more for just
educating lash artists, like how-to stuff, but trying to get clients in. I think TikTok is great if you sell products too, because people can just reach out to you to order versus trying to get to, because there's nowhere where to put a booking link on TikTok that I know of. A booking link and all those things. So it's easier for people to order products than it is for them to book for services on TikTok.
But Instagram is key right now.
Instagram is
key
chef's kiss. Yes.
Okay, so I know that you guys appreciate those tips because even if, you're in the younger generation and you guys use social media like crazy, sometimes you're lost on the business side of it. Like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I started seeing a lot of girls posting just their space, just their lash space. And I think that's pretty cool because it gives the customers like, oh, that's where I will be. That's where I will lay.
I think that's a good content move too, because it shows people, like you said, the atmosphere, and people they're able to connect with you in a different way. People have to trust you before they trust coming to you to get their lashes done. So if you're showing them, hey, this is my space and this is what it looks like and this is, what it feels like, then people are like, okay, I can see myself in that space with this person, with their personality.
Right.
So definitely, I think marketing you, not just your services too, is important. Now, I'm not saying share, your personal life. Keep that separate, but who you are
introducing yourself.
Yes, introducing yourself, talking on your stories about lash extensions, and again, educating and giving valuable content, sharing valuable content that helps people to feel more comfortable. They have to trust you before they trust you to touch their face.
Yes,
their eyes
exactly.
at that.
But I think that's absolutely true. Them seeing, because especially like if you're home based, a lot of people are like, I don't know. But once you show them that the space is nice, clean, and comfortable, they're like, okay, I can do that.
Absolutely.
I can do that. Like I could see myself there.
Yes.
And then, if someone can't see themselves there, then you don't have to experience that in your space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's good, valuable content.
For sure.
To do an introduction and also intro of your space. And I like watching them too.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like they're fun to watch.
Yes, they are.
I'm just like, because we pick up ideas off of
Yes.
each other.
Like,
you
oh, I
know?
like that the lights
That
on that
setup
wall. Okay.
or yeah, oh, that bed looks cute.
That's a nice
Like,
humidifier.
you know, I've seen a lot of the girls now. They're putting their leg pillows underneath the covers,
I have not seen that.
and I'm just like, I need to do that. Why am I getting my leg cover dirty? You know what I
Yes.
mean? And so then I'm like, I'm gonna do that now. So I saw a video yesterday of one of my students, her little lash setup, and so she put the leg pillow underneath the bed cover now, so it just has that hump.
Yep.
And I'm like, I should have done that. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So we pick up stuff, you know, from each other like that. So
Yeah.
it's good content. It's
Absolutely.
good content. And this is like something for not just other lash techs to watch, but your customers again.
Absolutely.
Because they're like, ooh, that looks so comfy.
Yes.
Oh, that looks really nice. Or you have this cute setup for pictures. Ooh, I want to take a picture there. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So I think that's good, valuable content.
I agree.
How do you brand yourself?
So the main thing about branding, or one of the big components of branding, is understanding your target audience. And I see so many like posts and everything talking about a target audience and what all it consists of and how to build it. But there's often a disconnect, and this is what I experienced and what lash artists who I've worked with have experienced. There's a disconnect between, okay, I know the age range that I want to service, and I know what their hobbies are and what they do for work, and, you know, all the things that you put
Yeah.
into a target audience. But how do you use that? How do you market to those people?
Yeah, how do you do that?
So with branding, everything that you create within your brand, from your colors to your business name, to your branding message and the tone of your brand, all of that has to be married to your target audience. And if you don't select your colors based on your target audience, then you can possibly miss people. For example, if I'm picking my colors and I love hot pink, so I'm going to make hot pink one of my colors. It's girly and it's for lash extensions, but my target audience is maybe an age range of, let's say, 25 to 30-year-olds. Well, what does hot pink communicate to 25 to 30-year-olds? Maybe it's a little childish. Maybe the color is too bright for my eyes now.
Yeah.
Maybe the fonts that you've selected are, you know, kind of hard to read, and people's attention spans are short.
Yeah.
So where this person may like your lashes, what you're putting out there is turning them off. And so you have to make sure that you're bridging the gap between target audience and brand. And so once you have a clear understanding of how to make those work together, then you can create content to market to
Okay.
your target audience based off of your branding that will actually attract them to you. So you don't have to go on Instagram trying to figure out, you know, how can I find people? People will find you because they're looking for a specific thing. And when you have the specific thing that they need, you hit your target.
How do you start hitting your target? By just the color of your profile page, or just the words you use, the description? How do you hit that target audience to start?
So it all works together. So it's not just one thing. Branding kind of consists of having a branding message, which can be often misunderstood to be like a mission statement. But your branding message is just simply who you are, what you do, and how it could help somebody.
Okay.
So for my where I help lash artists, my branding message is I help lash artists grow their businesses by teaching what helped me. That's industry-specific marketing and branding. You know who I am, because on my page it says that I'm T the brand. You know what I do. I help lash artists, and you know how I'm going to help you by teaching you how to market and brand within the lash industry. And so for lash artists, it's important to do the same. Why do they need who are you? Why do they need lash extensions? And what problem do you solve? Yes, lash extensions are going to be pretty, but other than being pretty, what can you help people with? Okay, I'm going to save you time with your lash extensions. If you don't know how to put on makeup, lash extensions are going to help. So making sure that you're very clear on, you know, what you do, and making sure that you know how to talk to your target audience. So that's another thing, knowing how to, in your captions, knowing how to say what it is that you want to say. So let's say if I'm marketing to teenagers, the language that I'll use in the slang that I might use in my captions, that's not going to appeal to the 30-year-old.
Yeah.
So knowing the difference between, you know, people, your audience, and that's the beautiful thing about it. You get to create this person that you want to market to. So you really have to be intentional I think that's the big
Yeah.
thing, being intentional about who it is that you want to service
Yeah.
and making sure that you are aiming to service that one person all the time. Everything that you do and create should be targeted toward that one person. Yeah, you'll get people outside of your target audience. I have clients who are like in their 60s. I have
Yeah.
clients who are younger 20s. But
Right.
my goal is to hit the people who are 30 to 35. So I make sure that everything with my branding, everything with the content that I create, what do 30 to 35-year-olds want to see?
Yeah.
If you don't know, then you need to go find you some 30 and 35-year-olds to
find out.
talk. Absolutely.
And find
So
out.
it's not, it's a lot of strategy and intentionality that goes
Yeah.
into being able to do this. And I think that's where a lot of lash artists, kind of miss the mark and, can start to feel discouraged because it's like, I created a target audience, but
Yeah.
I'm not getting them. Okay, well, you listed it out, but are you talking to them?
them.
Is your
Yeah.
brand communicating to them? Or do they feel like I need to get my lashes done by Anna, or can
Yeah.
I go to T the brand instead?
Yeah.
They need to
Know
feel
why.
like I need you.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you have
Why
to
should I go to her?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's just a strategy, pretty much.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's all strategy, we don't on Instagram. You're not gonna get that. Nobody's gonna
Yeah.
just spell it all out and lay it out for you like that. But
Yeah.
that's what it is.
That's true. Guys, thank you so much for being here with us today. T, give them your info for your podcast and your other pages. If you guys want to follow T and just get more information on branding, marketing, whatever it is, T, where should they go?
So on Instagram, my page name is Powerhouse Lashes by TTB. It's long, but I'm there. So Powerhouse Lashes by TTB on Instagram. On YouTube, my channel is T the Brand. The podcast, it's available on Amazon Music, Audible, Google Podcasts, Apple Pod, all the places. And it's the Powerhouse Lash podcast.
Awesome. So if you guys want to take a look and see more, I know I definitely am. T.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm going to follow you. Y'all follow her too.
Yes, I follow back.
Yes, there you go. I think it's going to be good, resourceful information, especially for your beginners lash techs out there. I think that, like you said, anything that you can grasp, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like you did that lady. It's like, I
Yes.
want to know this. And then
Get all of the free stuff.
Yeah, all the free
Yes.
stuff. Grab it. Why not if it's free?
Yes.
Right? And then you decide if you want more. But T, thank you so much for being a guest with us. We loved all the information. I'm sure our guest, I'm sure our new lash techs out there loved the info and want to see more. So I hope that maybe in the future you will come back
Yes,
and
I
we
would
can
love
have
to.
other combos, maybe
Yes.
something fun. But again, thank you guys for being here with us. This is The Lash Life. I hope to see you guys again. Subscribe, like our page, and we will see you guys next time.